Salute, we're live. The streets are buzzing. How's everyone doing? Ready to recap preseason game 2. New York Knicks went down at the Mecca to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Man, the Timberwolves shot hot. The New York Knicks started out really well. In transition, the story was they started well, got easier buckets, but struggled a little bit in the second quarter. But Minnesota shot the lights out all night. Let's talk about it. Salute to the chat. Salute replay gang. Salute Knicks Nation. We here. This is preseason, of course. No overreactions here. But let's recap what we saw. There were some good things. Some things we got to clean up, as always. But yeah, great to be with you. CT here on the solo. Post-game, New York Knicks go down 121-112. Balanced scoring from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Man, Naz Reid caught fire. And the New York Knicks tried to run them off the three-point line. But the ball movement from the Minnesota Timberwolves was excellent. But the New York Knicks started on the fast break with 26 fast break points. But the story was in the half court, just couldn't generate enough offense. And a really quiet second quarter from Barrett, from Randle. And of course, Brunson didn't play a lot. We'll go through the box score. Brunson played the least minutes, about 14 minutes. The plan is to ramp him up slowly as we go. So, you know, the fourth quarter was a lot of situational players playing. But the New York Knicks were tied going into the fourth quarter. But the start of the fourth, the T-Wolves nailed like 3 3-pointers in a row, some of them off offensive rebounds, which allowed them to pull ahead. And then it was a wrap. After that, the guys emptied the bench. So let's talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. Hope everyone's feeling well. Saturday night, the feeling's right. Salute JJ, Shannon, Walter, chat. Deuce McBride finished the game strong with 3 or 4 3-pointers late, getting into a groove. We got to see Evan Fournier once again. He did his stock no harm, nailing 3-pointers as well. We'll talk about Evan. The story was RJ Barrett continues to shoot well from the free throw line, but inefficient from the field and inefficient from three. But RJ Barrett was one of the better Knicks tonight as a whole. Julius Randle's worst game of the preseason thus far. Very quiet second quarter. But yeah, the pleasing thing for me was the Knicks started with the intent to move the ball fast. Like it was evident. They were, skip passing it up court. Jalen Brunson finished with about 4 assists. At least 2 or 3 of them were straight up the line, up the wing for an open 3-pointer. And the New York Knicks started out really well. And then, it was basically an even game. The third quarter was by far the most entertaining tonight. It was back and forth, a lot of scoring. We got to see some good things from Donte DiVincenzo. Some things that he still looks a little rusty with handling the ball. But on the defensive side, he was strong, picking up a couple of steals. Mitchell Robinson, one of the best Knicks in preseason so far as well. Guys, Mitchell Robinson was a beast as well. But yeah, the New York Knicks were rotating quite well, but trying to run them off the 3-point line. But basically, they couldn't keep any man in front of them. And it allowed the Wolves to swing the ball around for so many open threes, man. And the spread of scoring of Cat, Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, and Naz Reid was just a backbreaker tonight. But the fourth quarter was a wash. The scoreboard doesn't really tell the story. That little 2-minute stretch at the beginning of the fourth where they nailed 3 3-pointers, that was a wrap. After that, we got to see a little bit of Isaiah Roby, Charlie Brown, Dylan Windler, Jalen Martin, some garbage time mop-up duty. I'm going to say now that after this second game is in the books, I think Tom Thibodeau will approach the third preseason game against Boston probably close to as a regular season game as possible. I'm going to expect that Boston play Jason Tatum, Brown, White, Kristaps Porzingis, and Drew Holiday with just 2 more games remaining. So this was kind of a mess around game. Again, you know, some similar struggles in the half court, generating good looks. I thought Julius Randle forced it a little bit at times, but then he redeemed himself with a couple of deep threes to help the Knicks get back into it. But interestingly, RJ Barrett, off such a good first quarter, hardly played in the second quarter. And that's what I mean by, you know, you can't take these games too seriously. They're still messing around with the minutes and all of that. But the T-Wolves, to me, they look like they're set for maybe a season where they might be a little bit better in terms of their scoring. Naz Reid is a great young prospect to look for. Ant-Man started really slow, but he still was able to come into the game and make an impact scoring. And Karl Anthony Towns had a couple of way too many open looks from 3. But yeah, salute JJ. Absolutely. The story was RJ starting off. He had 2 and 1 plays in like the first 3 minutes. You know, one of them, you know, you see on screen as well. And then one of this kick out from Grimes was a nice slam. I like Quentin Grimes when he's decisive. But yeah, the half court offense just slowed down. Like I said, in terms of the fast break points, though, it was really pleasing. Now, because of Deuce McBride's late 3-point shooting, the Knicks ended up shooting 37%. As we'll get through the stats and we'll look at it, fam. But as you see, man, fast break points, 26-5. That was an absolute mauling for the Knicks. One of the best performances in terms of moving the ball, getting out on the break. It was because of a lot of the steals, 13 steals, as you see. So it's kind of a mixed bag defensively tonight for the New York Knicks. They obviously defended well from that perspective, got chippy, got after it, got steals, and got out on the break. But I also saw way too many defensive breakdowns. So it's like, it's a mixed bag. You know, and allowed way too many deep looks from the Minnesota Timberwolves. You know, they're a team that shoot a lot of threes, you know, and we allowed them to just shoot a lot. You know, they shot 41% from 3, the Knicks 37%, 76% from the free throw line. That was greatly in due to RJ Barrett's performance. But yeah, 16 turnovers after 13 the previous game. Not good enough. Got to clean that up. Still a little bit of over dribbling. But there you see Minnesota with 38 assists to the New York Knicks 22. It was just a superior ball movement. Buzzer beaters in the house, salute. On point here. Agree with you, man. Randle's still a little slow on the closeouts. Preseason, coming off the ankle rehab. I thought Randle looked pretty good in the first game. Defensively, he was a bit slow tonight. Yeah, costly turnovers as well. I also thought Jericho Sims was far more down tonight than the other game. Yeah, he had probably his worst game. Yeah, we gave up too many of those offensive boards late. But yeah, some things to like about DiVincenzo's defense, the intensity. We saw Josh Hart return in a limited role. But the Knicks picking up 13 steals was by far the best. Rebounding, 47-48. Didn't really get out-rebounded very much. But offensively, Mitch dominated the boards as well. Yeah, like what JJ's saying here, one thing is we were definitely closing out with intensity tonight, but the second help rotation wasn't quick enough. You know, one guy runs a guy off the 3-point line, the other guy's got to be ready to step up. Otherwise, it's pointless, closing out hard with these guys. Jet Life, King Ribby, Drip Moore, salute. Nick Streets, assemble. We're in our preseason form, but there's only 2 more games remaining, and then this is the real deal. So that's why I said, man, I think Tom Thibodeau is gonna get down and he's gonna get serious with this third game against Boston, and then we better wrap up preseason strong against the Washington Wizards. But there you see Naz Reid top scored for the Wolves, 22. RJ Barrett finished with 23. Rebounding, Rudy Gobert wasn't very impactful offensively as always, but defensively got 9 rebounds. Julius with 8. Randle, interestingly, top assisted with 4 assists. Jalen Brunson started well, but he rested. And then Roby with a block, guys. But yeah, there you see the wire to wire. The fourth quarter was the story, really. Strong third quarter, 30 points we put up, but the second quarter was the worst of the game. Julius Randle was invisible. RJ Barrett hardly played. I don't know about these rotations. I think we're trying to force Evan Fournier in there a little too much. I think normally Barrett would have got Fournier's minutes, I think, in the second quarter. Fournier did well with those minutes offensively, but defensively, still a step too slow. But credit to Fournier, he can still play offensively, he can still shoot it. Interestingly, this couple of games from Fournier could, create some traction in terms of some other teams. He's definitely shown that he can impact the game still offensively, but that wasn't really our main concern. The defense and scrambling way too much. So let's pull up the box score now as well, and we'll look at everything from that perspective and shout some other players out. So where are we at? Here we go. The Knicks shot 37% from 3, 48% from 2, and shot 76% from the line, so that's strong. Barrett was 9 of 12. I like the fact, again, Barrett got 2 steals, Quentin Grimes 2 steals, Dante with 2 steals as well. I thought Quickly was poor defensively, minus 21. Not great offensively either. So another come-down performance from Quickly after pulling the player of the game in the first game. Quickly's decision-making offensively is still suspect at times. There's that instinct to score from him, but then there's also sometimes he holds onto the ball a little too long. But he picked up 3 steals defensively. He's always solid, usually defensively. Barrett with his 23 points, like I said, barely playing in the second quarter. We needed more offense from him, but definitely Julius Randle going only 2 of 8 and being quiet in the second quarter hurt us, only scoring 24 points. Now that's although this is preseason, guys, that's something that we can we can take into the regular season in terms of the Knicks still find it difficult to manufacture good looks in the half court. Now Jalen Brunson is a guy only played 14 minutes. We know how important he is to the offense to be able to break teams down and another focal point. So I guess we can't overreact from that perspective, but still the Knicks are going to rely heavily on offensive rebounding. We're going to need to shoot better from 3-point, shoot more consistently, and also make better decisions, snappy decisions when in the half court. Now, there was times when the Knicks got dribble penetration, then they just dribbled straight into the trees. They didn't know what to do. So, looking out for that, the play calling, better player, ball movement is going to be key. But I liked what I saw from the speed, the tempo, the pace, 26 fast break points as well. The problem is you're playing into the hands of the T-Wolves, which aren't good defensively either. They're a team that likes to use up quick possessions, shoot the ball quickly, and hoist a lot of threes. And that's exactly what the T-Wolves did tonight. How many threes did they hoist up? 48 threes to the New York Knicks 23. To the New York Knicks 35. So, 13 more threes the T-Wolves hoisted up. That's a lot. And that the Knicks also did a lot to catch up late. So So yeah, special shout out to Mitch. He's more consistent so far for what we've seen. 4 of 4, 7 rebounds in his limited 21 minutes. Was a +5. Randle ended up +11 in his small minutes, 23. Barrett also. So yeah, the starters did okay as a whole. But the bench struggled a little bit also. Hartenstein, some great passes, some good dimes. 1 assist only though. 4 rebounds and 1 steal, -11 in his 15 minutes. So yeah, our backup big men weren't great tonight. Miles McBride, 6 of 6, 4 of 4 from deep. Salute to the one and only Deuce McBride. Could this be a year that Deuce McBride takes that another leap offensively? Also, I expect him to be that 10th, 11th guy in case we need that spark. Guys, he's going to come in. Now, what do I make of the Fournier minutes? I think it's a combination of us trying to, see what he looks like this year in preseason, but I also won't be shocked if his minutes get cut. There's 2 more games remaining, and I'm going to be watching closely to see whether he continues to try to force Fournier into the rotation again, or whether his minutes get cut. What do you guys think? Have you seen enough from Fournier to think that he could continue with his small minutes, and rely on some shooting? 19 minutes. There's no way Fournier is going to get 19 minutes when the games are meaningful, especially with Deuce McBride playing defense and shooting it well. DiVincenzo looking pretty solid as well. One thing I want to see more of is I want to see more shots from Grimes and DiVincenzo. Like I said, with Quickly 8 attempts, but Quentin Grimes with 5 attempts, DiVincenzo with just 3 attempts. That's not enough for DiVincenzo. How can he get in any rhythm? Playing 19 minutes, the guy's a scorer and gets 3 attempts. So that's the struggle in the half court, guys. We'll talk a little bit later in the show about Windler, Roby, and some things of that nature in terms of, when the games come meaningful. Roby did some nice things, put the ball on the floor. I knew he can kind of dribble as a combo forward. Windler looked a little rusty, went 0 of 2. But for me, the solids were the defensive end from DiVincenzo, Deuce McBride shooting, RJ Barrett's free throw shooting continues to be a story, as well as his 3-point shooting though, 2 of 8, 25%. Missed a couple of open shots from the corner. Fellas, ladies and gents. Keep the buzz coming in the chat, guys. Appreciate the passion. It's early, it's preseason, not overreacting to nothing, but there's some similar trends in terms of the Knicks look like we're gonna play faster again this year, get quicker possessions, but if we're not shooting well, we better get stops. And also in the half court, we need to continue to move the ball, swing the ball around, get good looks, don't over dribble. Guys can get into trouble when they over dribble. Now turnovers, 16, that's not good enough. We got to clean that up. Who were the main culprits? Barrett with 3. Miles McBride picked up a couple late. Hartenstein with 2 turnovers. And Julius Randle with 2 turnovers. You kind of live with that, although he only played 23 minutes. DiVincenzo picked up a turnover, and so did Quickly with 2 as well. So we've got to clean that up with these turnovers, guys. Nothing frustrates me more and a coach more than turning the ball over. You can't afford that. I'd rather a contested shot than a turnover. Just take care of the ball. So the Knicks are now 1-1 in the preseason. We play Boston coming up next week, or this week later on, and then next week, and then we finish it with Washington. So we got some more shows coming up. We got Mark Berman coming on Monday, 5 p.m. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, the back-to-back, the final 2 games. Thursday, we'll talk to Mike Vaccaro of the New York Post. And then Friday, we've got Bill Daughtry coming on as well to round out the preseason. So next week's going to be hectic. I'm loving it. It's going to be crazy. And the streets will be buzzing. Smashing that like button. We'll pull up some more highlights and we'll chop it up. So, yeah, early, the Knicks started really well. Ball movement was good. Julius, did swing the ball at some key times, which I liked. I don't think Julius's problem wasn't over-dribbling tonight. He was just quiet offensively. I like this move from Hartenstein. Took it strong into the chest of Rudy Gobert there. See, when he's going to sag off that much, I love him being aggressive like that, because if Rudy Gobert is going to sit deep, I'd prefer Hartenstein not to settle and don't just pass it back out. That just eats more of the shot clock. Nice highlight there from Bully Barrett again. I think he's building more confidence. Dante DiVincenzo, one of his steals there, getting out on the break, can play above the rim, like we know, anticipates the pass there, which is good. He's switched on defensively. He's seeing the ball. He's also seeing the man, in the words of Clyde, as well. So he's going to be a real addition, but like I said, I want to see him have more than three attempts as well. He's at least the top or the second leading scorer off our bench. He should be shooting more than 3 times. But I think that's going to even out as the situation with Fournier plays out. Here again, Cookie steals his lunch. That was the best play of the game from DiVincenzo. Your handles better be tight around here. Mike Conley having it right out the left there, and he anticipates the move and takes it coast to coast. See, a lot of fast break points. So the Knicks found themselves down at the half, 54-57. And you're thinking to yourself, like, okay, this is a solid hit out. Can we get some stops, please? What's going to happen? And then the furthest thing happened in terms of the third quarter was just a scoring fest. Ladies and gentlemen, it was just bucket after bucket. That was a great alley-oop to Jericho from RJ Barrett. And you throw it up there, and he's going to... Oh, this was Deuce, sorry. Great find from Deuce. Again, great overall performance from Deuce McBride. Just solid and reliable. You could see he's worked on his dribble there. He gets bumped. Normally Deuce McBride may pick up his dribble, but he keeps it going. He keeps it alive. See, reads the defense, the screen's hedging, and he turns the corner to find a rising Jericho. This was arguably the play of the game. Mitchell Robinson as well hustled back to block Karl Anthony Towns. That was a sweet block as well. Didn't see it coming with that one. Here we go. We see it. Hustling back. Hasn't lost a step. Has Mitchell Robinson. Looks like he's put on a little bit of size, but has been moving well in the preseason as well. So he gets a tick for his minutes, holding it down, yet being solid. Here he gets some points. He's got to eat, Mitchell Robinson. RJ Barrett connection with Mitchell Robinson in a pick and roll. See, we need more of this, this season, guys. Yeah, if the Knicks are going to hang with high-scoring teams, we're going to definitely need to produce, looks like this in the half court. See Mitchell Robinson there finding himself with an open lane. Got to capitalize on that. We had our Big Al Buckets, Nate Robb in the house. Former Knicks, once a Knick, always a Knick. Those guys were enjoying it. And yeah, that's what we see so far. Now the minutes, it's been a bit wacky. So we're gonna see things correct themselves, I think, a bit more in the third and fourth games now, and I'm definitely going to start evaluating things more harshly in terms of getting ready for the regular season, because the regular season is going to start, and it's going to be a storm, fellas and ladies and gents. It's going to be tight to start, with some back-to-backs, some travel, starting with Boston. Yep, and we're going to really be up against it. So these next two games, it's going to be full rotation, a full real rotation, I feel. And let's see. We should be aiming to get these guys into a groove. And what I mean by that is good shot distribution, clean up some of these minutes, lower Fournier's minutes, elevate DiVincenzo's and Brunson's. And I think everyone else will slot in with that, fam. Let's get through some comments, guys. Throw out your thoughts, questions. Let's start shouting you out. Kaiser Soze, salute. Let's get it. Backup starting centre, power forward position looks concerning. Yeah, look, tonight was a step back, I think, from Sims' Hartenstein perspective, man. I can understand your concerns there. Mitch looks great, but yeah, Roby also, is an unknown for the New York Knicks so far. Sims, a bit inconsistent offensively, is a liability as well. So the way I'm going to predict, fam, I think Tom Thibodeau is just going to go with Josh Hart. With that, fam, as we look at the minutes from Josh Hart. How many did he play? Hart only played 7 minutes tonight, fam. So I think he's going to get the bulk of those minutes, man. 1 turnover, 1 assist, 1 rebound, 3 points. Hit the corner 3 ball, 1 of 1 from deep, 1 of 2 from the field. There was a play where Karl Anthony Towns was deep into the paint, guarded by Josh Hart. I noticed that Cat couldn't back him down. So, it might work. It might work from the perspective of, he's strong. Josh Hart can hold his own in the post. But rebounding, he's definitely going to get out-rebounded a bit with a lack of size, I think. So that's something to, to watch. It's definitely been a story all preseason, man. Knicks 1 wants to see more Windler, not Roby. Or Knight at the backup 4. Yeah, we saw a little bit of Nathan Knight in his couple of minutes. He looked solid. I think camp's still going. These guys are going to continue to battle. But yeah, there's a lot of bodies, and I think some of these guys are going to get cut. Most definitely. Yeah, killer dogs, man. Naz Reid was straight cooking us tonight. Now, in terms of the big man, guys like him, I know he's skilled, but you can't let Naz Reid shoot 5 of 8, 62% from deep, 22 points, +9. That's crazy, man. And guess what? The guy had 1 rebound, 18 minutes, 1 rebound. Naz Reid. He was just camped out in the perimeter, ready to shoot. Fournier could play. Stop hating. Give that brother his flowers. Yeah, I think Fournier brings that skill set. I felt like he deserved some minutes in the playoffs when the offense was struggling. I think regular season ball, it's going to come down to what do you prefer, Deuce McBride or some offense from Evan Fournier. It might be game dependent if Tibbs is okay with that. The thing is about Tibbs, he's so rigid that he likes to just, set a rotation and stick with it, I think. But if he's open to switching it up, I could see Fournier, coming in certain spells, to help us stretch the defense out. Because one thing that's so far from just 2 games, my biggest concern is the half-court offense. It's just really not great in terms of, spacing. if Barrett's going to shoot 2 of 8, that's going to hurt us. And then you're going to see Jalen Brunson and, Julius Randle have to hoist a lot of shots. Now, I like RJ Barrett getting to the line. I like the fact that he's kicking it out. He's keeping his dribble alive. I like the foul shooting from Barrett. The defense is looks like the effort is there. It's simply the 3-point shooting. Now, we might end up seeing, some DiVincenzo or some Quickly play with the starters. Who knows? Barrett with the bench unit a little bit more. That could be something to watch. Guys, but yeah, Naz Reid, we know how good of a prospect he is. The whole league was trying to pry him away, including us, the New York Knicks. The guy can stretch it. The guy can shoot. As the team on the announcement was talking about, he's from New Jersey, so the hometown product. Naz Reid. These guys always want to show out when they come to the Mecca. And that's what we're going to see all year. If there's one thing I'm willing to bet on, is that every year we see these games where, I'm going to say a solid or mediocre player just has their career night. We see it again and again. And I'm kind of getting sick of it. But the thing is, the Mecca's so special, is that these guys are going to fire up. And they're going to want to come in and show out, It's going to continue happening. We just got to be ready for it, and lock in. We can't have these lapses, man. So, we haven't really seen enough of DiVincenzo to make a real evaluation. I'm going to give a full season preview once the preseason's done. We can expect to see a lot more minutes from DiVincenzo in the third and fourth games. But so far, I like what he brought. Defensively, I like to see him handle the ball a little bit more as well, not just quickly handling it all the time. Quickly loves to pound the rock too much, and I love to get him off ball, catching and shooting as well. I do like Quickly when he can get downhill. The problem is he can sometimes not get separation in the half court unless he can get downhill. But yeah, love that connection between Barrett and Robinson. So we'll pull up the full stats once again, and we look at it. 121 points. That's a lot to give up. But yeah, the fourth quarter, that run with 3 threes late, early in the fourth quarter hurt us. But yeah, it was a shootout tonight. See, normally we need to out-rebound teams to win. Tonight we got out-rebounded. So that's a trend that we can continue to watch closely this season. Right? Do the New York Knicks out-rebound their opponent to get the win? Now, fast break points, it's very rare that we'll end up with 26 fast break points. That's almost a quarter of our entire score, which can kind of allow our half-court offense to go frozen, because late in games, you're not really going to get fast break points. Late in games is when you need to execute and get good shots, in the half-court sets as well. Just 2 blocks, but the 13 steals I love as well. So in terms of like the minutes, we're gonna see a more closer NBA rotation soon. Whose minutes are going to go up? I could see Barrett's go up by another 3-4 minutes. Julius Randle's definitely going to get another 10 to 15 more minutes. Mitch, his minutes should go up by at least another 10. He's playing so well. Brunson's going to go up by another 18 to 20. Quentin Grimes' minutes, fairly solid tonight, but just couldn't buy the 3-point bucket. I could have swore he shot one deep ball. He must have had his foot on the line. It says 0 of 3, but he definitely hit one in transition with the go-ahead pass from Brunson. But Q Dot's minutes should go up to about 29, 28. He should see more minutes, probably Fournier's minutes. Now, Josh Hart, 7 minutes. He's definitely going to get up to around that 20, 25. Hart, I guess it's going to depend how well he's playing, right? If Mitch is playing well and he's not gassed, not in foul trouble, he should play more. The problem is Mitch had 4 fouls tonight, so that's something to watch as well, moving ahead. Now, DiVincenzo, I'm cool with him playing only 20 minutes. If that's the case, he needs to get more than 3 shots, right? You got to get the defense moving with DiVincenzo out there, right? He's not there as a post player. He's there to shoot. So Fournier with 19 minutes, that should come all the way back down to maybe 8, maybe 10 minutes in the next game. I'm gonna expect 9 more minutes to go around between Hart, Barrett, and DiVincenzo. Now Sims, if Sims ain't playing well, those 14 minutes, man, that should come down. Just 2 points, just 2 rebounds, 1 foul, 14 minutes. That's too many minutes for a guy that's no threat offensively. I'm cool with Sims playing a little, but not 14 minutes. So that's definitely preseason form right there. So he's going to lose some minutes. Deuce McBride made the most of his minutes, man. 11 minutes, 6 of 6, 4 of 4 from deep. That's as good as you can play. Like anyone, Deuce McBride, that's as good as you can play. It was against kind of bench players, against garbage minutes, but Deuce McBride definitely helped his case again to be another X factor this season, maybe an unsung hero. I posed the question, who would be kind of like another unsung hero for the Knicks this year? And Deuce McBride helped rescue the season last year. This year he could be coming back a better, more well-rounded player with this situation. Yeah, he's got a little bit in the bag, fam. Kaiser says McBride has stolen some of Brunson's bag, it looks like. Yeah, I like the fact that he was keeping his dribble up, and he was definitely confident shooting the 3 ball, stepping back. Nick Yak, salute. What's good? We're definitely not trading McBride. We turned down many offers already about him. Yeah, facts. The salary is value, just value, bargain. 1 milli for the production we can get. Just throw him out there. He can guard. He can score a little. Yeah, great option. To go with if quickly struggling. Like I said, DiVincenzo might not have it as well. See, the thing is, our defense was generating offense tonight. So if Deuce McBride's out there getting stops, closing out hard, making sure that they don't get open looks, being a pest, that's what you need. We need a guy that's going to slow their offense down. And I mean, like, really slow it down. He can pick guys up full court, 3/4 court, to make sure that their offense doesn't get into its groove until maybe the 11th second on the shot clock. Things like that. That's important in terms of getting stops. See, we let guys get way too comfortable at MSG. Talking about wide open 3's, and that's what's going to happen this year if we don't clean that up. Guys love to rain 3's. Minnesota should have been on the scouting report. Now, I thought we were closing out hard. We closed the shooters well. The problem was that the second and third pass, the rotation was too slow. And then obviously Naz Reid. You can't just let Naz Reid sit there as well. So, yeah, if Mitch feels uncomfortable coming out, we might have to play Randle at the 5 some minutes as well. We'll see. The problem is none of our bigs really like coming out there, so that's a concern. We're going to play Boston, Kristaps Porzingis, Naz Reid, Carl Towns, Joel Embiid. A lot of these bigs can stretch it now, and that's going to be the Knicks' Achilles, I think. None of these guys want to come out on the perimeter. What do you guys feel about the 9, 10, 11-man rotation? Knicks 1 feels the need for 11 rotation with Knight, Toppin and Windler, and Sims the 12th man at the third string centre behind Ihart. The interesting thing is I would love to see more of Knight. I would love to see more of Toppin, Windler. I think with the third game, it'll be interesting to see if Tibbs is still willing to experiment a little, just to give these guys a bigger chance. Knowing that the regular season is around the corner, let's see. I'll be surprised though if Tibbs is still willing to experiment a little. But I would love to see what Nathan Knight can bring for us, fam. I think that's going to be big. So we have depth, we have the versatility, and I think that's just going to be something we need to take advantage of. So, out of the offense and the defense, what am I most confident in? I'm more confident in our defense, to be honest with you. We have our anchors, our defensive rim protection, Mitch. He's so important. If he stays out of foul trouble, he stays healthy, we're going to be in line for a top 10 defense once again, I think. Offensively, are we going to go into a stupor? Are we going to get into a funk in the half court late in games? That's going to be key. And if we're not shooting well, we need to be willing to sit dudes like Hart and Barrett if they're not shooting as well. Bring in whoever is shooting well, whether it's DiVincenzo quickly. More shots for Brunson. I'm okay with that. Now, Brunson looked really good in his early minutes, which is by far the most encouraging. Now 14 minutes, went 1 of 5, but shot 7 of 7 from the line. So you can live with Brunson being inefficient if he's going to get to the line like that. 7 of 7 in 14 minutes. But the 4 assists is exactly what we want to see more of. He was more willing to get the ball up ahead, a skip pass up and find the dudes quickly for an easy shot. And that's what I want to see Brunson more of this year. Either it's more shots if we're struggling or more assists to get guys easier looks. And we might end up seeing Brunson average, 7-8 assists this year if he's more willing to get the ball moving quickly. Look at his minutes, man. He's basically a plus every single minute. Plus 15 in 14 minutes with 9 points, 7 of 7 from the field as well. 1 steal, and like I said, 4 assists. Was very solid. Now, Julius Randle, the next most important player on this team, no doubt. We saw, the second quarter, the New York Knicks only put up 24 points. So that's going to be something that we're going to have to look at closely in terms of, needing more production and efficiency from Julius. Struggled in the playoffs again with the injury, and the Heat's defense made it difficult. But we see some struggles in the half court in terms of them bringing the double. Julius Randle sometimes jumping in the air before he passes it, and then when he does pass it, he sometimes passes it so fast with force. So that's something that is going to be huge for this team. We love Randle making quick decisions. We love it, of course, when he shoots efficiently. But the decision making from Julius Randle is going to be a key swing factor for the New York Knicks this year. There, we saw some nights last year. He might not score a lot, but then he was moving the ball really well. He's a guy that can get you 7-8 assists also in his sleep. He picked up 4 assists tonight. He is willing to move the ball. Sometimes it's, like I said, it's a little step too slow or it's too fast. It's the defense, the teammates find it hard to read what Randle was doing. Sometimes he's kind of a tricky player to play with because you need to be switched on in terms of when he's got the ball, because he does like to go isolation, but then he does like to pass it at the very last second as well. But the 2 of 5 from deep, 40% from 3, I'll take it. There's going to be nights where he's going to shoot 8-9 attempts from 3. When his minutes are up, 5 attempts with 23 minutes from Julius. So only got 1 of 4 from the line. But yeah, preseason, he's working his way back from a tricky off-season rehabbing, and also working his way into conditioning for the real deal. So yeah, this is just a warm-up. This ain't the real deal. I like, for the most part, I think the Knicks played a solid 3 quarters. I think, parts of the second and parts of the fourth quarter were quite poor. I think the T-Wolves just shot the lights out. They stuck with it. But there's going to be a lot of teams like them with offensive firepower. Talking about Karl Towns, Anthony Edwards, Naz Reid, these kind of guys. They got Shake Milton. They got some depth. They got Slow-Mo Anderson. So yeah, we can't afford to just be involved in a shootout. But the first quarter was by far the best. 4 steals, 10 fast break points. RJ Barrett started aggressive, 2 and 1s. RJ Barrett is now shooting 18 of 22 from the 2 preseason games. 18 of 22, that's great. Looks like he's really worked on that part of his game. The fast break started well, but we know the fourth quarter's not going to look like that. You can start games well, really put up points with the fast breaks, but in the fourth quarter, execution is going to be something that's going to swing a lot of games, I feel. We definitely need to rebound better. The first 3 minutes, we gave up 3 offensive rebounds, and it resulted in 3 Minnesota 3's, fam. So, as I peep the second chance points, the Knicks got 11 second chance points to the T-Wolves 21 second chance points. So they almost doubled the New York Knicks second chance points. That's very unlike us. Normally we're the team that is getting mad second chance points. But in the Bizarro world, we were the ones getting 26 fast break points to Minnesota's 5. So we're definitely slowing them down. But they're an older team with Mike Conley running the point, and Karl Towns, Rudy Gobert lumbering up the court. So they're not a great fast break team. But we did allow them to get way too many buckets, fam, in the half court. What's good, Nick P? Salute. As much as I like Quickly and Barrett, Quickly is too expensive as a bench piece, and Barrett's 3-point shooting and D, we need an upgrade at that spot. Yeah, I feel like a lot of fans share the same sentiment, fam. And I'm not trying to be harsh on any New York Knicks. It's just pointing out what we see in a more consistent size. And for the Knicks to take that next step, this is going to be that year where I think Leon Rose, Tom Thibodeau, they're really going to be evaluating these guys in the 3rd and 4th years of their careers. Quickly's coming into his 4th year. Barrett 5th year. These guys aren't young. They're not that young. They're young in age, but they're not that young in NBA experience. And this is a year we need to see some improvement. It really is. And talking about guys earning max money, right? We're not talking about rookies, being harsher on rookies that are young and have just been in the league a year or two. These guys are now getting paid, or about to get paid, like they've been around a minute. So I'm definitely looking at these guys quickly. So far, everything we've seen in the preseason suggests he's going to come back and still be a weapon offensively, but the turnovers, the decision making is going to be key. And like you said, RJ Barrett's 3-point shooting, and his defense as well is going to be something where he has to take that in his stride. We know Barrett can put up 20 points per game in his sleep. That's nothing new. It's going to be efficiency. Looks like he's worked on the free throws, which is excellent. The 3-point shooting is really going to help this team. Help or hurt this team. Like you said, went 2 of 8 tonight. A couple of them most of them were great looks. If I'm being honest, they were great looks as well. If you want to be that 3-and-D wing, a starting NBA wing, earning 25 mil, that's a skill that you need. But for the most part, Barrett's good at what he's good at, and he's producing, getting to the line, and putting up points. It's just the efficiency is all I'm saying. And the defensive consistency. So what else are you guys feeling? The chat buzzing, the streets are buzzing, smashing that like button. We're just 2 games down into the preseason, now at the halfway point. We got one more tough game and then a more easier game, I'm going to say, against Washington. A nice sample for this preseason so far. Playing a team like Minnesota tonight, getting after it as well. But yeah, I'm not evaluating this as a real thing because for many reasons, but the main reasons are Jalen Brunson, 14 minutes, Julius Randle working his way back into conditioning, 21 minutes as well. So we'll know when this team is ready to go full steam. And it will definitely be either the next game or the 4th game against Washington. And then we obviously play Boston on opening night. So we don't want to give them too much of a look, fam. But yeah, hang that in the Louvre. Mitchell Robinson locking down, stuffing Karl Towns. That's beautiful. We know, Sims can get the lob. Deuce McBride keeping his head up. Well done with that one. I love DiVincenzo's ability to pick up the steals, which is great. We've seen that. He's definitely going to get rack up the steals this year as well. He looks like a hustler as well. He can get after it. I just want to see him shoot more threes and get him more looks. But I think tonight Fournier was the guy taking some minutes from him. It's tricky for these guys to show out in garbage time. So I do want to talk a little bit more now about your Nathan Knights, your Isaiah Robies, your Dylan Windlers, all of those things. First and foremost, it looks like most of these guys are healthy, which is good. The fact that these guys are healthy, you want to see that. And they can vie for those minutes. The first intriguing guy for me is more Roby and Knight, because those guys are capable of playing some backup 4 minutes if we needed some extra size. The thing is, I think Tibbs is just going to go with what he knows, which is Josh Hart to begin with. But if that's not working, we'll see if these guys can get some of his trust, in training camp, in training, in practice. So Roby played 11 minutes tonight, 2 of 5, was 0 of 2 from deep, got to the line, 1 of 2, pulled in 2 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, was pretty active, 5 points, -3 in 11 minutes. Roby's a guy, when we first signed him, and I looked at these highlights, talked to some people with OKC, and try to do some research on what he brings. He's definitely a guy who's capable of giving us some minutes because he's got NBA experience. The scouting report says he can shoot the three ball. He's capable of, maybe shooting at 36, 37%. Not a volume shooter, but the ability to put the ball on the floor, which is what which most intrigued me with Roby. As a power forward, right? We know Jericho Sims, Mitchell Robinson, Hartenstein to a degree can't really put the ball on the floor so well. So Isaiah Roby is a more compact, hybrid big man. That's a skill set that we might need. We might need him to produce that for us. Obviously, we need him to shoot the three ball if possible, but if he can put the ball on the floor, attack the defense a little bit, attack a closeout. We saw him cut baseline and get that reverse layup. That was beautiful. And then he had the fast break to Fournier as well. So there was a couple plays that stood out to me. One was the cut baseline when he finished reverse, putting the ball on the floor, and then the fast break to Fournier. So a very savvy player. He's been around the league now. I think this is his 4th year coming in. So if there's any guy that's going to give us a little bit of an impact, I think Isaiah Roby might be that guy. From what I've seen, Nathan Knight is a dude who is capable also. I like his moxie. Yeah, he plays physical. He likes getting after it. In the first game, he had a nice post up. Took his time, played played with patience, forced the switch, and then backed his man down, got the layup, post up layup. So I think Nathan Knight, I would love to see a little more from him in preseason if we can. I prefer the Knicks to play a more traditional backup 4 guy. I think Jericho Sims is kind of that guy where it's hit and miss. It's good defensively sometimes, and then it's average offensively. If he's not getting us lobs, So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who can battle. But keep these guys on the roster. I think Nathan Knight's on the 2-way, so he'll stick around. And then I think Roby's on a regular roster spot, so he has to get cut if any changes are going to come, fam. So I think those 2 guys are a lock to stick around. I think guys like Charlie Brown, maybe Daquan Jeffries, Jacob Toppin, Dwayne Washington, those are the likely cuts, I feel. But yeah, interestingly, Jacob Toppin looked like he was active in game 1. Tonight he didn't get any minutes, so I think Tibbs is just trying to rotate it. Nick Yak saying it will be Hart and Sims first before Roby. Yeah, I can agree with you on that. I think that's what Tibbs loves. I think Tibbs is more comfortable with those dudes. Hart's experience, Sims' rebounding, verticality, rim protection. The issue is, I think I love those 2 guys. I feel like they're just limited on other sides of the ball. We're looking for it's tough because we're looking for that option man that's well-rounded. A guy that can stretch it a little bit, can give us some offensive firepower, and then a guy who can also rebound and defend a little as well. So I think the best version of that is probably Hart and Sims combined, and you mix it up. You mix it up depending on how the game's going. If Mitch is in foul trouble, we might need Sims more for the big man. If Hart's rebounding, pushing the break, he's going to rock with him, I think. But pleasing from Josh Hart's perspective, 1 of 1 from deep, 100%. If he can continue to sink that corner 3 ball at a good clip, then that's excellent. Excellent for the New York Knicks and our chances. Just looking for him to hit that open shot. Just don't hesitate and sink it. Now Dylan Windler, interesting that he got some burn. Looks like he's healthy. 0 of 2 from the field. Missed both threes. He needs to get into a groove. But yeah, he is known as a 3-point shooter. He's known as a good rebounder as well. But there's not a lot you can do in 6 minutes. He's just getting his wind under him. We'll see if Windler sticks around as well. He's on the 2-way as well. There's 3 2-ways. Jalen Martin, Dylan Windler, and also like I said, Dylan Windler, Jalen Martin, and Nathan Knight. So as I pull up the main roster, and we'll go through each dude, and we've got the final 2 preseason games remaining. Now, obviously, Ryan Arcidiacono hasn't got any minutes, but he's just that mascot. Looks like he's there for his backup experience at the point guard. If Quickly or Brunson were to go down and we're left with just Deuce McBride, I think Arcidiacono is going to be situational. I think Jeffries is a candidate to still get waived. He's 6'5", is a very similar player to what we have. I think if a guy like Jacob Toppin, Dylan Windler, and Nathan Knight can impress, those guys might get bumped up to a regular spot. Maybe we put Daquan Jeffries. Actually, no, we can't because of age and experience. We can't put Daquan Jeffries back to a 2-way. So he's either going to be on the regular roster or he's going to get cut. Now, the Knicks waived Dmitro Skapantsev, the big man from Ukraine. He's going to be in Westchester now with that Exhibit 10 money as well. So, yeah, Evan Fournier, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm looking closely in the 3rd game. Does he get any more minutes? 19 minutes is a lot for what I expected as well. So I'm going to lean towards Tibbs is showcasing him. I don't think Tibbs has suddenly flipped a switch and believes in Fournier. But I could see the New York Knicks just trying to showcase him to the rest of the league, do him a solid, moving ahead. But yeah, so far the best players in preseason has been Mitchell Robinson. I like mostly for what RJ Barrett's brought in terms of being aggressive, getting to the line, moving the ball. Tonight didn't shoot the ball well. But I want to see Quentin Grimes. I want to see more aggression from him. I want to see more shots from DiVincenzo. But I liked his performance defensively. Mitchell Robinson, the big standout. And we just haven't seen Randle and Brunson enough yet, fam, to make a full assessment. With that said, so yeah, the New York Knicks battled. It was an offensive back and forth tonight. Good test for us, for this ball club, getting finely tuned for opening night when the New York Knicks will take on Boston Celtics at MSG. It's going to be crazy, that opening night. We'll make the cuts, but we'll see. We've got 2 more games remaining. Would love the Knicks to bounce back. Maybe they play more of their real rotation in the next game against Boston. We'll wait and see, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, it's been a fun post-game talking about this game, what we like, what we want to see cleaned up. Salute to the chat, the best chat in the biz. Again, I'll repeat, we got guests coming on Monday night, Mark Berman, formerly of the New York Post. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, post games. Thursday, Mike Vaccaro, New York Post, 5 p.m. as well. And then the only Bill Daughtry next Friday to round out the preseason. And then it's the real deal, ladies and gentlemen. We here, no sleep. In the city that never sleeps. The streets are always buzzing. CT, peace out.